countdown.
No. Hello. We're live. Welcome to the first ever Sweet Tea and Pearls.
I like it. It has a good ring to it.
I like it. I was leaning at first. I was like, ooh, with pearls. Like with pearls. But then I was like, I just like how it just roll, like it says it better. Like when you're
Sweet tea and pearls.
Yes.
You say it with that Southern accent. Not that I have a Southern accent at all, but
no,
if I did, it would be sweet tea and pearls.
It sure would. I'm Ashley, and this is Shelby. Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope, please give us some comments below because we can bring them on screen with us. We'd love to see who's out there tonight. We're on several Facebook platforms and our YouTube channel. And we would just love to say hi to you and see what's going on because today's Thursday.
Friday Eve.
Friday Eve, y'all.
Yes, ma'am.
You've got your drink and I've got mine.
Yes. Yes. Because you're not a coffee person, right?
No, no.
And I'm not a tea person. But together, look at us.
Look, looks like we can do a virtual clink. Clink. See, I did that at first too.
I'm never gonna learn. You know what's funny is when I was in school and I would take the achievement test, like my parents would have meetings with my teachers and they would say, she's really great at all this other stuff. And hey there.
Hi. I do like the logo. That's nice. Yeah, look at y'all.
I love it.
Yay. They would say she's doing great until it comes to spatial geometry. And then it's just like, and I can vouch for that, as you see. I mean, I'm like.
You gotta think opposite.
Which is weird because I'm an artist, right? Like you think if I could do anything in this world, it would be spatial geometry, but.
Look, our younger one, Abigail, is so good at that. Like she is a high flyer with abstract concepts. Like the first thing she said when she came in here, when I was doing one of these was, "Why is it the other way?" For a 5-year-old, that's
awesome.
That's really awesome. Did I tell you about it? It was about 2 weeks ago, I think. That I'm gonna have to say this quietly, everybody. We were on the couch watching one of the Tinkerbell movies, and she looks over at me. Are those real? They real? I was like, the fairies? Yeah, the fairies, are they real? I was like, no, baby, it's movie magic. So
yes, I like that. It's movie magic.
Movie magic. So it's pretend. And she immediately goes, what about Jesse's Tooth Fairy money?
No.
I didn't know what to say, and I don't have poker face, so I'm just thinking and holding my cheeks in. And she lets a second go by and she goes, so just the Tooth Fairies real? And I said,
That's why it comes in handy to have your cup, because then when you're about to laugh, you can just, no one knows. You just look concerned.
No.
How do I know this? Because in an early job, I had a boss that would make me laugh quite frequently, even though he wasn't trying to be funny. And I would have one-on-one meetings with him. And I just learned never go in there without a cup of something so that I can just, when I'm about to lose it, it's something that he's saying that's not supposed to be funny. I can just be like,
oh, yeah.
Saved my life many a time.
Oh, that's the best. So, what have you guys done this week? Anything new?
Well, we have something underway in the Vafina's house at this moment. It's going down live. Actually, it should be going down live, but I hear Chris talking to the girls, so it must not be. We're going to be painting around here.
Really? I heard you chat about it. What are you doing?
Well, we hopefully, if everything goes well, we're going to be transitioning from the carpet to wood floors. And so if we're going to do that, then the ideal time to paint is before, so that if we get it on the carpet, it's okay because we're going to rip it up anyway. So we have like a hallway and a guest room and an office and all this stuff that needs to be painted. Because we painted this, well, we didn't paint this room. The real estate person painted this room. It used to be, this room used to be red. The living room used to be green. The kitchen and hearth room used to be like bright yellow. So it was just kind of like it had kind of a clown vibe to it, which is not what I want my house. That's not the vibe that's not the aesthetic that we need.
I feel like the person that owned our house also owned your house. It was 13 years ago, though. I remember touring it, and the little boy bedroom was boy blue.
Mm-hmm.
And then their third bedroom, which they were using as an office, was like acid green.
Oh, nice. What a combo.
And then I think their other bedroom, the master, was orange.
What else should it be?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like going on a tour of some kind of a psychedelic dream, going from one room to another. And yeah, so I'm trying to like blend things together this time and going for a nice neutral kind of configuration. So Chris has several, look at this business. Let's see if we can see. Look at this. Wave. He is getting into the paint samples as we speak.
Nice.
Paintbrush. He's going to be putting swatches on the wall. This is Silver Point. Come here. Let's show everybody. This is Silver Point from Sherwin-Williams. I don't know if you can see it.
I love Sherwin-Williams paint. It's my favorite.
I love it too. I love it. We have Sherwin-Williams sea salt in our living room and in our entryway, which is kind of like our background, except more gray. But here it is. This is Silver Point.
Just make sure the back
you can see it.
Like a gray blue.
Yeah, it's a nice light. I want a light color. I don't like dark colors because they make me feel sad. So I need like happy, light colors. So that's what we're doing over here. I'm excited about it.
Love it. When I finally got our whole house painted, it was all versions of white and gray except for our bedroom. And I wanted to get a king headboard that was like a sapphire velvet.
Ooh.
But it's very expensive. Hey, Wanda. My buddy Wanda.
Oh, yay.
How are you? I wanted to paint. I wanted that to be a like a velvet sapphire, but it's so expensive to get a velvet king headboard. And so, how are you? What are you doing, Wanda? You've been super busy getting ready and doing all those plans for your school, girl. Oh my gosh, so much. Wanda is over at Lakeland as a person. So she's been deep in the trenches getting planned for the next month. So she's been a hard worker bee.
Wow.
And I ultimately decided it was too expensive and that I wasn't going to spend like a $1,000 on that. So I went, why don't I just do everything neutral and paint the walls sapphire?
Oh.
And I don't know what came over me, and I did it, and I called it Sexy Sapphire. It was gorgeous.
Oh my goodness.
I loved it.
I love it already.
I loved it so much. I need to find like a really good description of that color that I could show you because it looked so good.
I want to see. Do you have any pictures?
I never really took pictures of our master, but you know what? There's a color in this painting that is a pretty good description. And look.
Ooh. Oh, that's gorgeous.
And it was absolutely stunning. And I found this back when it was open at Calico Corners, and this was pre-kids.
What?
I made all of the drapes in our house. I did interlining, like legit, like stuff that you would have paid to have custom made. That's what it ended up like, because I am a crazy perfectionist.
That's amazing.
And the fabric I found had like golds and silvers and bronzes and and it was this beautiful paisley, and I just loved it.
Oh, I love the sound of it. I wish I could sew. That's one thing I wish I could do. But I'm going to tell you that my girls have been waiting to turn 9, because as soon as they do, they can take classes at the Stitch School. Have you heard of the Stitch School?
No, I know about Bumble Tees, and I know the owner there, and she's pretty awesome. But I don't know.
And yeah, that's what they have their heart set on, and they're always doing cool things and learning to sew. And I'm kind of like, I kind of have my own duplicitous reasons for them to learn to sew, so that I can kind of like see what they're doing. And if all else fails, maybe have them sew something for me,
Funny story.
Put them to work,
Funny
right?
story. They were given a sewing machine from her mom when they were 5, because she's like, let somebody teach them. Well, they've been holding on to that gift for 4 years, waiting for that time, because no one will teach them before the age of 9 or 10. So
Yeah, starts probably 9 or 10. I feel like that's kind of standard.
Yeah, that's a good time. There are like children's sewing machines that have protection like against the needle, so that you can't just accidentally put your finger under there.
Yeah.
I taught my niece in Louisiana 10 years ago how to sew, and she may have been she may have been a little bit younger than 9. I don't know. She could have been 8, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look. It's on Facebook, but we made a pillowcase.
Oh, fun.
Yes, we had a lot of fun. We picked 4 different fabrics. So like there's like the body of it on one side, the body on the other, and then like the, the edge where there's the tab.
Yes.
Where you see the seam. We made that be another one on both sides.
Oh, fun.
It was so much fun. I loved it. Yes. I don't know if you ever used it, but I was like, I really like that pillowcase.
Yes.
It was all kinds of wild patterns.
Oh, that's so fun. So fun.
I bet she's on we're going to invite a friend of ours, Megan, on here in a little bit to chat. What is I going to say? Oh, this is what happened to me earlier this week. So I don't know why. I never thought of it before, but my girls are going into kindergarten and first grade. And I don't know how yours are or were then, but the concept of days and how many days and that kind of time is a really hard thing to get across.
Yes.
And I get so tired of it. No, that's in a month. No, a month is 30 days. No, 7 days. Like I have so much respect for kindergarten and pre-K teachers and first grade teachers.
Yes.
So like I totally understand, especially them, why they have these calendars on the wall, because it's like a necessity.
Oh yeah, because they don't have a clue.
You have to like look at it. So I went I finally, I don't know why, just now. So if you have littles and you don't have a year calendar on your wall for them to visualize, stop, go get one. We went to, oh my gosh, I'll have to take it out there or something, my computer, and show you. I taped it with washi tape to the wall. Nice. And it's one of those giant hard laminated calendars. It's real pretty. Got it at Office Depot. I spent $30 on it, and it's got all of 2020 on one side and all of 2021 on the other.
Wow.
All the months and like the days are kind of like this big, and it's huge.
Yes.
So we went through the whole thing with a wet erase marker. So one of the not an expo, a wet erase. And so it dries, and then you have to wet it to erase it again.
So it's not going to just get rubbed off.
Right. They can rub past it and it's fine. And we went through the whole year, put everybody's birthdays on it. And so now like the first thing we did was do the countdown to the first day of school, because I'm tired of going, no, it's a month away. It's not next week. It's not tomorrow. No, it's not tomorrow. It's not.
Yeah. It's not happening yet.
It's magical how those questions stop with a calendar on the wall.
Nice. That is brilliant.
They got to decorate it. They put stickers all over it. So I busted out my organization stickers and I let them put stickers on, but not on the days.
Yes.
Around the days.
Yeah, because you got to see the day. That's kind of crucial.
We did the sleeps backwards. So we're at 24 sleeps till August 10th.
Okay. Which is coming soon.
Woo, it's just 24 sleeps. That's crazy, isn't it?
It is crazy. Now, has Arlington announced their plan yet?
Yes.
Okay.
K through 8 are slated to go back full time. Oh, let's bring Megan on and I'll keep talking about it. Hey, Megan. Can you see us? Put your volume on. Is your volume up on your screen? You're on with
I
that.
don't know how to do that.
No, we can hear you.
Can you hear us?
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I have a very slow computer there.
Oh,
So
I'm so
hopefully
sorry.
it catches up with me.
We were just chatting about school. Yeah, Arlington came out with their plan on Wednesday. That was, I guess, yesterday. And so K through 8 are slated to go back at this moment because, as we know with news, things change. We don't know, but today they are slated to go back K through 8 full time, Monday through Friday, with grades 4 through 8 socially distancing and using smaller class sizes and using things like class sizes. I don't know what they're calling it. They're calling it overflow areas, but like just they're social distancing and using blended learning and to make sure that they're social distancing. And class sizes 2 through 3 are already way smaller. And Jesse's class last year in kindergarten had 19 students in it, I think. So they're very small classes. And so they'll space them out even more. And I think some teachers, you know, they were asked to remove some of the things in their rooms to make social distancing even easier. So they'll stay in their rooms like that.
Gotcha.
And using things like cohorts and groups so that kids can travel easier together. And then 9 through 12 will do a hybrid model where all the students go 2 days a week. And on Monday, everybody's virtual together. And then it's Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday.
I tell you what, I got to hand it to those geniuses that are figuring all this out because
I can't tell you. I was in on a couple
amazing
today about in-service, and there's so many. Like it's already a train to get regular school together because they're planning not just what this is, but what if this has to happen? What if this has to happen? What if this has to? There's all these other things that they've been working on so that if it changes tomorrow, it doesn't change the plan. It's not like what happened in the spring. It's
right.
The train
blindsided.
And you just make a shift. You make a shift. You change the track. And it's impressive. And like
it really is.
Stations and the stickers on the floor, so you know, like there's only one-way traffic on each side of the hallway, and how there's special people designated in each building that they're hiring to be monitors of making sure everybody's following all the clean guidelines, and they've got these special Clorox stations, like wow. And then like we're not going to be using the water fountains. We've gotten like these awesome like water bottle fillers, waters.
Ooh, like, nice. What is this? That's amazing.
It's bougie.
Yes. They're upgrading. I'm impressed. I'm so impressed. I don't even want to think about how many hours have been spent.
And so many more. Like they're still working and
oh yeah.
I think Megan's internet might be slow. So that might keep her from being able to keep up. So that's frustrating. We'll have to figure that out. But I'm excited to hear and chat with Megan. She's super fun.
Yes, surely she'll be back.
Yep, she says she'll be back. She's going to work on her internet.
Who's been watching Hamilton?
Yes, I love it.
That just made me think of You'll Be Back.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Did you know that the King George, that's Kristoff from?
Yes, I love it so much. I love it. He's so talented. Oh my gracious.
He's very talented. Everybody's so talented. Like I've been listening to that soundtrack for years on repeat. Just like whenever I have to focus on something, like it's great to put that on because that's 3 hours of music. I will have to say that the Mariah Reynolds song, I always skip over.
Which one is that?
When he cheats on his wife in the second.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about it.
You didn't really do that, did you, Hamilton? I just believe that he did like nothing but great things all the time, you know, which I know that's not true. But in my fantasy, it's true. We'll just edit that part out.
Right. But I started reading the book that Lin-Manuel Miranda based the play off of.
Yes, Chris has read it.
It's so good.
He loved it.
Mr. Ron Chernow has done a few biographies. I listened on the audio. I did that one.
He heard Hamilton and his antenna went up and he came running in here.
But look, this author's style is so good. If y'all are listening, I highly recommend the author that wrote Hamilton because he takes all of the writing of the person and then looks at the history of the time and does all this additional research and then kind of writes it as if it's literature, as if it's nonfiction. So there's a storyline, but then like it's all of it's real, all of it's nonfiction, and then he'll interject, like he'll take like implications and he'll say and make inferences about what may have happened or what might have happened here. But he's very specific about whenever he says it, like this is why I think blah 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 blah. But
Ron Chernow, he did. He made me read a few of his biographies just from listening.
Did he call you?
I mean, like just
say,
listening to it.
You got to do this.
I said I want to find all of his biographies. I think he did a 48-hour one on audiobook for Washington, and I listened to all of that one, and then it made me get into. I'm reading John Quincy Adams' biography right now, and I've been no, but I've just been reading like every revolutionary founding father book ever since we saw it a year ago. Yeah, we saw it with him.
And who dragged you to that, huh?
You did.
Yeah, against his wishes, I made him go see it.
So good.
Raised a ruckus because we didn't have tickets and everyone else did, and so he found a way to get tickets because I just wouldn't let it go.
I love it, and you know, whenever I ever saw it, I'd listen to the soundtrack like 8 billion times. And I would think, listening to it, I was like, I wonder, because I know it was going to be like Les Mis, where it's singing the whole time.
Yeah.
But I was trying to figure out, surely I'm not really getting the whole play here. Like there's got to be some like text or conversations in between at least some of these parts so that it weaves it together like a story. And there's really only like 2 lines.
Because they have those amazing background dancers with all the little hidden things going on and little storylines there that just tie it all together. It's brilliant. It's so brilliant.
Like the Bullet. Did you read about her? The Bullet?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I missed that when I was watching it. It's like maybe I saw a couple things, but I didn't put it together and I didn't realize it was all like one theme, you know?
Brilliant. It's so good.
I know. And I feel like the writing of it is just like Shakespeare level. Like I guess when did it come out? 2016?
It came out then. 15, I think.
So it's like 2015 Shakespeare. Like just the perfection of it all, you know?
So much effort. So much effort.
And he's like our age. I'm like,
well, let's use the Google machine.
Yes. I feel like he inspires me because I'm like, well, dude, Flynn Manuel can do this.
Are you kidding? He's only 40.
What?
He's 1 year older than me.
Oh my gracious.
That just makes me feel so not accomplished. Oh my God.
Goodness. That's amazing.
Oh,
You wrote it when he was
hello, Carolyn. How are you? I hope you're having a great night. It was good getting to meet with you in our online meeting earlier. Virtual meetings.
So I have a question to throw out there for people.
Yes, go. Are you back, Megan? Are you back? Uh-oh.
The struggle is real tonight.
We can hear you. We can hear
That
you.
is crap tonight.
That's not fun.
Hi.
Oh, so good to see you and meet you. I feel like it's been forever, and I get so excited whenever I get to see or hear somebody that I don't see every day, like anybody but my family. Like, hi.
Hug.
No, it was all virtual. It was all virtual, but I was so excited for it. So, how are you doing, Megan?
Hi. Sorry. The struggle is real tonight.
I feel you.
Say it. You're here.
So, what were you saying?
Copy.
Oh, yes. Favorite interior paint colors. Because what if there's one that we haven't thought of? That we should. We do have 3 on the wall right now. Should I show?
No,
It's too dark, you think? Okay. He says it's too dark.
I believe him. It is kind of dark. Do you have a favorite interior? So, Megan, are y'all moving?
Hope so.
I thought I saw something like, is your
Crap. It's like, okay, so I'll start talking and we'll see what happens. Okay. Do I sound terrible to you?
No, your voice sounds normal. It's just your body is doing the breakdancing.
I know. Every part of me in my life is.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Yes.
We are trying to sell our house. We are trying to list it before the month is over. The month is slowly catching up with me, but that is the plan. So.
Well, I hear it's a great time.
Moving to
Where y'all wanting to move to?
Bartlett. Say hi, Mark.
Hello. Well, good luck to you. It was like a year ago where I was like, hey, let's sell our house right now. That'll be good. And then it was like, it was almost Thanksgiving when we finally got it on the market.
It's a lot of work.
Well, we got a storage unit a few weeks ago. We've already started thinning out the house. I've had the donation trucks here twice now. I've also been selling stuff online and moved some things. Mark was gone for a week. He went to go visit his folks, so he's home now. So this ought to be my weekend to get things done.
Whoop, whoop.
Put him to work.
That's right. So when I was online a second ago, you guys were talking about schools. So I didn't get to kind of chime in a little bit, but I don't know. I know, Shelby, you homeschool your kids, right?
I do, but don't you know this is the year that I'm sending them to a hybrid school, so they're going to be in class twice a week.
Where are they going?
Veritas in Collierville. So we're going to have it quite the commute going from Bartlett. But I reached a point this last year where I was like, they need a teacher other than me, because it was getting to the point where they're like, haha, you're going to love us anyway, so who cares how we do on this test? And it's like, no, you need to try. So I think it's going to come in handy having some more accountability, but it's like they'll be home 3 days and in class 2 days, which is not that different from how high school is going to be looking, right? It's called a university model school where they're in class and then they do the rest of the work outside of class. And I'm not the main teacher anymore. But it's really hilarious because I signed up for this in the beginning of February and, you know, committed and legally bound myself to this. And you know, at the time, maybe we'd heard of coronavirus.
Right.
And then like a month later, I was like, what have I done?
Right.
I just exposed my children to the pandemic.
I know, and they're going to be in class, but they all have to wear masks, and they're small classes. So I'm thinking like 12 per class or something. So I'm thinking that they should be able to spread out. I think we're good, but I mean, who knows? It's just, who knows anything, right? We're all playing this by ear and doing the best.
Right together. What about you, Megan? Y'all are Bartlett? No. Yeah.
Well, the kids' dad and I decided, per the spurring of our children, that they are going to go to school. Bartlett is giving the option of first 9 weeks they can either do online learning or they can be in the classroom. And I have, you know how you have those couple of parents that you kind of run with or whatever. And so I had 6 other parents that I ran with that have friends in my kids' classes, and I texted them individually and kind of asked them what they were doing. And 5 out of the 6 said, our kids are going to school. We have to work. We have things going on. This is just how it has to be. So I was like, all right, well, you know, that one stay-at-home mom said she was keeping her kid home, and I was like, I can't do that. You know,
Not everyone can. And even if you can, it's not always ideal. You know, like I'm thinking if we wind up online for any reason, like I already start having panic attacks thinking about it. Just like,
well, they've been doing so much planning. Like, I mean, the amount of work that they put in or continuing to put in, from the HR side to the safety side to the academic side to the actual, like, making it work in the trenches and the schedules and the moving and how is this going to work? Like, it is this, well, like, I don't feel like any other profession besides teachers and schools could have done this as to what they've been put into place. Because this is time and time again, teachers and schools and districts are the ones where people in charge above all the school level and the district level change their mind, or something happens and they go change, and on a dime, school systems go, okay, and we just go. And I've been in meetings with teachers after hearing some of the things, like, and people are like, everybody's like, okay, like, and that's everybody. And I'm talking about people that I know that are negative Nancy's and people that are gung ho always, you know, all of the different kinds of people. And I've just been so impressed by all of my colleagues and all of the people that are above me and in different levels all over, like, just how much of a beast this is. And I mean, all of the municipalities have been communicating and working all of that out, and it's just been amazing.
It gives you a whole new level of respect for everyone involved, you know, and even as someone who homeschools and is outside of the system, it's like, I'm still super proud of our schools here. And like I always say, at the drop of a hat, we may very well change our whole course and do public, which I feel totally good about because we're so blessed to be in such great districts here. You know, we have.
It's amazing. I mean, even at Arlington, they're doing, like, they released it K through 4. They're going to be 1-to-1 with iPads. So that's like 2,000 iPads. That's as big of a release that we had a few years ago when we started with high school. 2,000 going out right away, and we've been here with that, and they're prepping, and it's just amazing to see, and like just the willingness of teachers to jump on board. And I know that, I mean, it's not just the plan that was released. I mean, that's not it. There's a million things that could happen, and there's all these different puzzle pieces. Like, okay, this shifts. Like, their whole goal is that no matter what happens, everybody, like, if there's another safer at home, everybody's got to go virtual. If we got to change it to where it's not everybody on site, if we've got to do this, if we can go back to traditional, like last year in fall, like, it's amazing to me. And I'm so amazed by the people at all the levels of the district and all the work they're doing. It's incredible.
And you have a front row seat for it too.
Well, I have a cup, like, you know, I don't want to give a false impression that I've been on like a billion meetings that I know all the things, because I don't. It's just, I'm a tech person who's slowly, like, been, like, gotten, you know, like a peak. Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, the thing they rolled out from Bartlett City Schools was pretty involved, and for me, I was kind of like, oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh. But one of the things that I was talking to, my kid's dad about, I was like, the fact of the matter is our kids went to like our church did a non-camp camp. It was kind of like we were supposed to have camp and they canceled it. So the children's minister did kind of like a quasi VBS, but just for our kids. And they did it in like this big, huge multi-purpose room of our church. And you had to pre-register, and if you wanted to do it online, she had Facebook Live go in, and she had some other options and stuff. She tried to do everything she could to involve everybody, but she had some rules. You can't. You have to stay in your chair, and you have to wear a mask. Well, when they got a chair, they had everything they needed right around their chair. They had a bag that had all the little supplies they were going to do. If there was an activity that day, it was under their chair, and they had somebody on the stage that was leading them with stuff. I watched them. I sat there. My kids did great. They kept their masks on. They did what they were supposed to. They followed the directions. And this was like, 4 or 5 days in a row. And I was thinking, if they can go to church and stay spaced out and follow the rules and still have a good time and still learn something from it, I was like, the teachers and the staff at school are going to be more prepared than our little volunteer staff at church is. And my kids already are prepared because they've already stepped into this. They've been at home by themselves with no other kids except for each other, and they're kind of sick of each other. So it's nice to have an option to go to school and to be safe in a way that can keep them as safe as possible. For me, I'm like, they need to go. They need to go.
Well, they lost so much, like it's been really hard for kids because they, I all the time have to explain, look, it's not just you. Like, it's not just that you have the worst parents in the world that have pulled you out of anything and everything. It's like everyone's dealing with this, but it's hard. And we never lived through anything like this, and they've sure never lived through anything like this. And to them, it's just like one disappointment after another disappointment after another disappointment. We were going to be in California on our girl's birthday this year because their birthday falls during fall break. And now it's like, at first it was like, I don't think we're going to California right now. And then it turned into, I don't think you're going to get fall break this year. It's like.
We'll see. And you're right, Cynthia. Teachers are definitely going to give it their best to make sure kids have the best experience possible. You're absolutely right. And I have to keep reminding myself that they don't have our background. So our knowledge and experience of what we went through, because we didn't go through this. Mm-mm. And this is what they know. So like I've got my kindergartner and my first grader, and this is what they know right now, that people are sick outside and there's the virus and we've got to be careful. And like my mom got them special, the cloth masks. We've been using hospital ones because my dad rocks. And Jesse was so excited today. And see, all I have been thinking about in preparation of this is, getting them used to wearing masks, because I really don't take them out very much. Like we go to my parents and we went to Paul's parents in Louisiana to hang out. So they haven't really been out. And so they haven't worn masks very much. And Abigail has complained about it. They don't like it when they have to. But Mom got them kid-size masks, and Jessie has worn it around the house the entire day. She's like, can I go somewhere and wear my mask? It didn't even occur to me that it's fun and different and not cruddy.
Well, mine were funny yesterday because we had to go to the paint store to get some paint samples, for our big indoor painting adventure. And at first, we were like, do y'all want to come with us? And they said, no, we don't want to get coronavirus. And I was like, well, I feel like maybe if you're going to go somewhere, the paint store might be one of the safer places because no one's there, And so then it became an opportunity to wear the mask. And then when it was all over, they didn't want to leave. They're like still looking at all the paint. And
you're in the public.
Yeah. And just being, even though we're like the only ones in there shopping, but they became attached to one of them in particular became attached to a very bright green. And I didn't even know green was a thing with them. But
Wow.
I don't know. They may have a green bathroom because it's their bathroom. It
Why
might be them. I have to show you the little paint chip that we got because
It's super bright.
it's real bright. And they kind of picked out a bright pink for their room. And I'm thinking we could have like a whole Lily Pulitzer thing going on. I mean, the possibilities are
Little AKAs.
Do they share rooms or they get their own rooms?
well, my sorority's colors were pink and green. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my sorority, y'all.
They share separate rooms.
They share a room. But I went to a little Baptist college, and for sure, I was a part of Tri-Chi. Do you know what Tri-Chi's letters are?
No, I went to art school.
Tri-Chi's letters are XXX, which you forget about when you're on campus because it doesn't mean what you are accustomed to XXX meaning. And then you go home to Memphis for the weekend, and you're wearing your letter shirt, and you're out there pumping gas. And let me tell you, you never do that again. You do that once, and it never happens again. Now I don't even think they wear those letters. Now it's TC because it was just too edgy.
Yes.
But yeah, we were pink and green with the XXX. It was special. Now, Megan, were you in a sorority?
No. I went to a Church of Christ school for 2 years. We didn't have sororities. We had social clubs.
See, that's technically what ours was. Ours was a social club.
Yeah, so it was guys and girls together, and the name of mine that I was in was called Psi Mu, and the only reason that I was kind of was to play intramural sports, meet a guy, and to do the end of the year production, which was called Making Music. You don't want to know what that is.
Making music.
I attempted to sing and dance. There might be a videotape around somewhere with it on there.
We had Tiger Tunes, and ours was probably the same thing where we had like we had a theme, we had costumes. It was legit.
Yep. Yeah, us too. Now, what I'll tell you is in Church of Christ, we don't dance. So it was a choreographed, event. So, but no, It was a good time. It was the long-standing tradition in the school, and it's a big weekend. It's usually the weekend of Easter or right before Easter, and you do like a Thursday you have like Monday rehearsal, Tuesday rehearsal, Thursday performance, and then Friday, and then 2 on Saturday, and they're judged, and there's a big competition, and then there's a big rivalry between social clubs, and all this kind of stuff.
That sounds just like ours. So what were your themes? What were you in the different years? Do you remember?
The first year that I did it, we were pirates in a pickle, and so we were pirates who had a very overweight captain who was trying to take us. He found a map to Mickey D's, and he was trying to take us to McDonald's, and we figured it out and tried to overthrow him, and that was our thing. So
nice.
The other one, we were with leprechauns. It didn't really go well, and that show was really a disaster. So it was kind of like, let's throw all the weird things together and make it happen, and it didn't happen. It was just we had big, ugly costumes and really bad dancing.
Hey, Mom,
so.
got a new subscriber,
But
Campbell.
the thing, but he's playing. I don't know if you see him. I don't know where he is, but he's behind me playing Minecraft. So
Hello.
I love your shirt.
I know him. Hey, Bryce.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's y'all's shirt.
Yeah.
Twins mom, and that's Ashley from Little Studio.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What you doing on a Zoom call with them?
We're on Facebook Live too, so say hi to the world.
Nice shirt, man.
That's what I
Yes.
I know.
Look at that. Representing.
I'm already famous on YouTube.
Yes, tell them about
are-
your YouTube channel.
You're
son.
getting lots of likes,
Subscribe.
buddy.
Don't. I know where you live. Or at least one.
Good to see you.
Well, Megan, I was a teenie.
Basically,
That's what yeah.
I was a teenie, and then I was a peppermint. We were a show where we were all different kinds of candy, and I was a peppermint. And my costume was made out of hula hoops that were really intense, and you couldn't really dance very well in it.
Wow.
So I think that kind of held us back a little. But then the final year we were flight attendants, and that was a fun one. So yeah, because we were you at
Did you
you at
keep?
Harding? Did you go to
I went to
Harding?
Freed-Hardeman University.
Freed-Hardeman. Okay, I was at Ouachita Baptist in Arkansas.
Harding University also does something similar. It's called Spring Sing.
Okay.
And I think David Livingston University does. Oh, I'm gonna butcher the name. I can't remember what it's called. It's something like, I don't even remember, like La La Weekend or something. I can't even remember.
So fun.
We
Did
did.
you do anything like that, Ash?
No, see, I went to art school. I went to Memphis College of Art, and Rhonda can talk about this. We had crazy art things. Now, Rhonda, you're going to have to back me up. Like the Talent Less show every year.
Ooh.
So people would get up and do funny, weird things at the Talent Less show. We also had, since we didn't have sororities, one of the years I was there in the student government, we decided that we were going to have our version of the Artist Olympics. And we got in co-ed teams and made up our own sorority names.
Ooh.
Like Alpha Delta Paintbrush, Iota Pi, etc.
Nice.
And this is back when Fear Factor was popular, and like we would have things like eating weird things in the special, like you know, the competitions, like eating like the grossest baby food and not throwing up, like having to eat all the things on your plate, and we did bobbing for bobs, and I remember I bet the parties were epic in the 80s at MCA. but like Bob was one of our instructors, and like we put his face on a bunch of apples.
Everyone does.
Yes. We did all kinds of weird games like that, weird inappropriate games, all kinds of crazy things. But
Okay.
we had lots of fun.
I loved my college. I loved my college experience, but I gotta say, like, there's part of me that's like, Memphis College of Art would have been really fun.
It
And
was
we could have been college friends, Ash. How cool would that have been?
we could have been. It was a lot of fun. I remember
At Memphis College of Art. This guy right here, he's not an artist, are you?
No, I do my art and mathematics. So I have
He's
an
a
art
math
question
major.
for y'all.
sure.
Favorite art exhibit you've seen, like one that was just traveling through, or favorite art museum you've been to? Because I know I took her to her favorite, which was the Illinois
No, the
Chicago.
Chicago Institute of Art.
And then we went to the architecture boat cruise that was on the Chicago River. So that was, I know her favorite. My favorite, I saw the Titanic exhibit right after the movie came out, like 98, 97, that came through here at the Pyramid, or I think it was the Pyramid. I love Titanic. I got to keep cooking dinner.
Putting that man to work.
Oh gosh, I've been to a lot of fun museums. Last time I went to New York, I was in high school, and we didn't. So it's been like a million years. So I haven't been to anything awesome in New York, but I've been to the museums at the Art Institute of like Chicago and Ringling and Sarasota, Florida, and Detroit, St. Louis. Like there's a lot of, like, picking a favorite is a little hard. I don't know.
It's hard. I know I went to the Art Institute in Chicago, and when I was in high school, we had to pick a painting that we copied. I'm sure y'all probably had to do that at one point.
Yeah, master copies. Yep.
Yeah.
Good one. I've not been to the Phillips collection, Rhonda. Do you have a favorite exhibit you've been to?
But I had to do, I got to pick out anything I wanted to do, and I picked out a Monet. and it's beautiful. And I can't think of the name of it right now, so I'm no help at all. It's a big French name, so it's probably, I would butcher it if I tried to say it, but it's like a castle, and you can see it through these trees, and you can see the ocean in the background. And I painted it, and it was hanging in my parents' house, as is like half of the things that I've ever done. It's basically a Shelby museum in there.
That's where you want to go, Mama? You want to go to Paris? I have to say, as she typed that, I went, oh my gosh, all the museums in Berlin. Everything I saw in Berlin, that's definitely my favorite. I think.
Oh, goodness.
And, that I went at Memphis College, through Memphis College of Art. It was one of my spring breaks. And I remember being a little, Megan's internet sticking. She'll be back when she's back. But I remember being frustrated that the year I was going to go on the trip to Berlin, that I wanted it to be Paris, or I wanted it to be Australia, or I wanted it to be somewhere like Italy, Milan, somewhere more exotic. And then my head thought of as Berlin. But because of World War II, oh my gosh, that is a really good question. Like this is what blew my mind in Berlin. And that's why, I don't know why immediately didn't pop into my head, is that they didn't just rip down all of the horrible things that they've done in their history and their past. They actually keep it, there are bombed out churches where the church on the inside and everything is gone, and the only thing left were the exterior walls and a window. And they kept that, built a church back on the inside, but they braced it and kept that. It's almost so they could remember that, and that's part of them. I mean, even parts of the Berlin Wall are still there. I had no idea. And what they did, instead of just knocking down the whole Berlin Wall, they very carefully excised it in sections and sawed it down and made these big, wide sections that they kept. And they, along the original route of the Berlin Wall, periodically, there's a section there that they, oh, I'm so sorry, Megan. We'll try again another day.
Yes.
But they kept in there. And I remember outside of a medical school, there's a section there, and they've spray painted with DNA, and the double helix, and it's there to remind them so that they don't go back. It's
that's so powerful,
mind blowing. And
yes,
there was an Egyptian museum there, and you'd go in, and there'd be these huge arches that they brought from Egypt. How is in here, actual Egyptian architecture, and
oh my goodness,
ancient Greek vases, and
fat
things that are in books that. There's this, I don't even remember the name of it. I have to go look. It's the Berlin version of the Louvre, and it's huge, massive. And the David was there when we were there, and it's massive. The David is way bigger than you think it is. And I've never been to Paris. I've never seen the Mona Lisa, but that's way smaller than you think it is. David's bigger. And I remember the triptychs and the diptychs, the religious paintings that have all the gold leaf in it from thousands of years ago. Yeah. The gold is still gold. It's bright, it's shiny, it's mind blowing.
Oh my word. That's incredible. I need to go there.
Yes. And all of the churches that are everything that's old to us is new to every other country in the world. And you don't really understand that until you go. And I remember we took a train out of Berlin to go to Potsdam, which is a city way outside. And there's all these old churches, older than our churches. and you're like, I'm in a book. I'm in a real life book. You're like in the Da Vinci Code. And I remember like paintings on the walls and gold and all these wood carvings that were painted angels and just incredible things that like I never thought I'd see, like just mind blowing.
Oh my word. I've never been to Europe and I so want to go, like
Gotta go
as soon as possible, because it's what you said. Everything here is so new. And it seems like here we can't even keep our good old building. I mean, like some of the best buildings in Memphis have been just destroyed, and it makes me angry and sad.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the Ellis Auditorium downtown?
Yes.
I used to have my dance recitals there, and I was obsessed with that place. And it had like a, I wanted to go to the Getty Museum when I was in California, and I didn't. But I'm going to one day.
And Mom's been to and Rhonda's been to the one in Malibu.
I love Malibu.
I love California. I love it so much. If I could go back to Europe again, I'd go, well, as long as COVID was gone, I'd go to
Go away, COVID. We're sick of you. You're ruining our lives.
Done. And I was so excited to go, but it was 2003. So it was 2 years after 9/11.
Yes.
And it was an international flight. And I remember the morning of the flight, I looked at Mom and I was like, I don't know if I can go.
Yeah. It was also fresh.
Yeah. I was and my parents were so nice, and they were like, and they'd already spent all the money. We weren't getting the money back. They were like, well, if you don't want to go, it's okay. And and then I went, I think I'm going to be okay.
Well, what's funny? My grandparents used to watch Oprah, and I would stay with my grandparents after school. The stories that you've heard about my grandma, the artist, and all of that. So I would stay with them. They would watch Oprah. And I remember as a kid, there was like some Oprah episode where these people got bad feelings before taking flights, and then the planes crashed, and they're like, well, I didn't get on it because and so,
I know.
that like got stuck in my mind. And now before a flight, I'm like, do I have
a bad feeling, or is it a bad feeling because of the bad feeling? Is it a bad feeling, or is it just a pretend?
They've all turned out to be just fine. All my bad feelings were just absolutely nothing at all, except for my own anxiety that came from watching that show at a very.
I know. I watched that show. I know the one you're talking about. And
you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. I feel you. And look, the first day that we were there for 7 days, and the first day we were there. Yes, Rhonda. Yes. The first day we were there, we went to the Brandenburg Gates. And that's the famous arch with the horses on top, like that, like the famous Berlin, like that's where you go.
Yes, iconic.
Yes. And there were, like, side note, there's a Starbucks there that's where I had the best ham sandwich of my entire life. They had some kind of soft cheese on that was like, so, I can taste it today. It was so years ago.
The food is better over there.
Everything's better. And I was looking at the gates. I was walking around and I wasn't paying attention, and I twisted my knee. I stepped off of a stair and I twisted my knee. I didn't stop. We walked the entire week. And I kept going. I got tendinitis in my left knee because of that. No regrets.
Right? It was worth it.
It was totally worth it. No regrets. No regrets.
Oh my goodness. Well, when I was at the Art Institute, so I did this master copy of this Monet painting, and then I was just walking around and I turned around and there was the original, and I started crying. I was like,
I would have done that.
What's happening? I didn't know it was there, and I love it. I wish I knew what it was called. That's really a shame. But it was little, like it was little bitty,
Yep.
And then I'll tell you one other funny story, and that is I used to work at a company here in Memphis, and the owner enjoyed buying art. And it was the funniest thing. It's like you would go in a random person's office and there would be like an original Picasso on the wall. And it's like, wait, why is this not in a museum? Like, is that really? There was a Matisse down the hall from me.
No.
It's like,
look, and I tell you what, I'm telling you this, and anybody that's listening, if you like art and you want to go abroad, there's really like no better place than Berlin. I highly recommend. Like, there were 20 museums. 20. Like, how many are in Memphis? Like 2? Oh, I bet it did. Look,
my goodness.
we stumbled across a small gallery in Berlin that had a Salvador Dali exhibit. We were like, yes.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were. And apparently that's so normal. I remember we went to an Egyptian exhibit. We went to an ancient Greek exhibit. I saw Minoan work. We went to the giant Berlin Museum. We went to I forget the name of the artist, but the one that does the animals in formaldehyde. Saw his work.
Wow.
Like, all these amazing modern artists. Like, I'm forgetting all of their names now. I bought a book. We went to the history of the chair and saw.
I would have loved that.
It was like hundreds of chairs and then modern chairs. So I absolutely believe that made you cry. I feel like seeing some of those in real life, just like things you never thought you'd see, and then you're just.
Yes. But I have a sad version of in the same topic to share with you, and that is when I was 13, my parents took me to Washington D.C. And we went to the Smithsonian, and they had been telling me we're going to get to see the Hope Diamond. It's the biggest diamond in the world. I was disappointed by the Hope Diamond.
Well, why were you disappointed?
I wanted it to be bigger. Like, I was expecting like a whole room full of a diamond. Like, I thought we were going to get into like this quarry or something. And it was like, in my 13-year-old analysis, I was like, meh. I waited in line to see this.
Yes. Damien Hirst is the artist with the formaldehyde. Thank you, Rhonda.
Look at that knowledge of modern art.
Yes.
Yes.
And like, there were so many other pieces that were giant, and I can see them flashing through my head now that I just remember going, like, I was just frozen. Like, how is this real? How is this real?
Oh my goodness. And I love architecture too, which, is fun for me because I get to draw lots of buildings. And we went to Oak Lawn. Chris, is it Oak Lawn outside of Chicago where Frank Lloyd Wright's stuff is?
Oh, yeah.
Oak Park.
Yeah, I've been there.
Is in Hot Springs. That's a whole different thing. Oak Park. And I was just
walking tour.
Like, what in this world? Like, there's another one and there's another one. I'm such a nerd.
I did not go on the Frank Lloyd Wright walking tour, but I did go to Oak Park.
I got there too late for the walking tour, so I just.
No, I did too. I think that's why I missed it. But that's hilarious. There was a little museum there, though.
Yeah. There was something where you could look in the windows, and I guess it's probably the museum.
This is how long ago it was. I think this was 04, 05.
Okay, yeah.
I went when I was there. There was this brand new store, y'all. Paper Source.
Yes. Girl, the first time you go in a Paper Source.
Look, and the ones that they have now are not like the ones that were back then. In 2004, the only thing that was at Paper Source was that wall of invitations. So the circles, the squares, like there were like columns of colors, and that was it. And then there was like the tissue papers and junk. All this extra stuff that they've grown into, that wasn't there. And I was like going in going, whoa. This is amazing.
Like, what is this business?
Yes.
The OG Paper Source.
Yes. It was amazing. And there was nothing else in it but all the stationery. And I was just like, this is the best store of my life.
I always wanted to make cards. That, like, back when I was in school and people would say, what do you want to do? I was like, of course, I was under this false notion that I had to major in something other than art, which is ludicrous.
Right, Rhonda, tell her how wrong she is.
It's so wrong.
Rhonda makes cards. Rhonda does cards.
Oh my word. And so, I mean, I should have done every career placement test that they make you take in high school said you should be an artist. And I was like, well, I can't do that. And yet, what am I doing now? OG paper source. But I wanted to make cards. I thought that would be so fun. And when I was in college, we had to make cards back during the whole rush process, going back to all of my Tri-Chi days. We had to make cards accepting or declining invitations to parties. And that was like the highlight. I went to Walmart and I bought up because in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, that's all we had was a Walmart. But I went bananas on those those response cards. And I thought I could do this forever. This is so fun. So Rhonda makes cards.
She does. And 1.5 million years ago, I was trying to get a whole bunch more. It was a year ago right now. Okay, I'm giving her the link to come on with us.
Yes, I want to meet this girl.
And what's I trying to think? Look, did I ever tell you that I made the invitations to our wedding? Like,
no.
Yes.
Well, why am I surprised?
We letterpressed them too. And
yes. Oh my word, I love letterpress.
Rhonda!
Hey.
What's up?
How are you? Look, I'm geeking out and sharing with Shelby that I actually letterpress at Memphis College of Art in the letterpress studio. I letterpressed our wedding invitations, and I was so bougie about it. See, there's this really cool machine, and I don't remember what it's called, but you could actually have it print. It would create and cut out like this little rubber version of what you wanted to letterpress. So you didn't actually, it was like the modern version.
Oh yeah.
You didn't have to use like the little hand type set stuff. And we had all of that at MCA, but I didn't want to do that. So I could have done that.
Time consuming.
Yes. Like I could have put it in the machine and have it cut out a little rubber thing, but I was like, no, I'm going to have copper plates made.
Oh, what?
I still have them. I have they're in the other room somewhere, but
They're expensive.
Oh yes, I spent money on those. I have the copper plates from our wedding invitations, and I used all paper source paper, and it had an outer. And then there was a little thing that came out on the inside, and I did a lino cut inside that wrapped around the thing. It was like 7 different layers of letterpress because like it wasn't good enough that I was just doing letterpress. I had to do it 7 freaking times.
How many invitations did you make?
It was like 100 or 150. It was so much.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And look, we even did a handmade paper wrap that went around it.
Nice.
I love it.
Okay, so here's a question, Ashley. So you had your 7 layers. What was it before you got to the 7 layers? Because you had the crazy idea, and then you're like, okay, that's crazy. I need to come down a little bit because I'm going off the deep end. It's like, let me pull back and do something that I can actually do.
No, I just put the foot on the gas, and nobody in my life told me to hold back. Do you know what else we did? Look, I'm so mushy and dumb that like Paul and I met in a coffee shop, not in Tennessee. I was recruiting for Memphis College of Art, and I just happened to be in this tiny podunk town in Louisiana in 2004, and my hotel lied to me and said I had the internet. I did not have the internet, and I could not do any of my work, so I was screwed, and I was going to have to, when I got back to Memphis, I was going to have to stay up late at the MCA doing all my, catching up because my hotel lied.
Unacceptable.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you are too young.
I'm older than both of you, so
I went into.
We'll leave that alone.
I got
That's okay.
into a coffee shop. Like I get this call from Annette back at the home office, and she's like, "Ashley, I know you're on the road, but I see that you're in Shreveport and you're near this small town of Ruston. And look, I get out my map.
There was no GPS.
There's no. I said, where is this? She goes, it's on 20. And I was like, that there's one dot. That's a little dot.
Didn't even have a name.
She was like, there's this girl there. She just called us. She really wants to come here. You need to call her and you need to meet her. Y'all, let me pause. How many times did we do this? 0. That's how many times we met with people who just happened to be interested.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you go to high school classrooms, you go to guidance offices, you go to portfolio days. You don't call a girl in Ruston, Louisiana, and have coffee.
Go to her house.
Right. How's
Come
your
on my house.
Like, no. And she goes, Ashley, you need to call. And I went, okay. And I got off the phone with her and I honestly looked at my phone and I went, but I made the phone call and I was like, Hannah? She goes, yes. Because this was before caller ID.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You didn't know who you were.
Yeah, I used my work phone because I wasn't about to use my minutes on my personal phone.
No.
And I said, this is Ashley from Memphis College of Art. Would you like to meet? And she goes, yes, I would love to meet. And I said, well, is there a Starbucks? And she goes, no. I said, well, what about a mall? She goes, oh, no, there's no mall. I said, well, is there a place that we can meet that's public? And she goes, well, there's this coffee shop called the Frothy Monkey. And I went, okay. She goes, do you want me to give you directions? And I said, where is it? She goes, well, it's downtown. I said, I think I could probably figure it out. And we made a date for the next day. And that's how I met him. I found this coffee shop. Ruston has 3 exits off the interstate. I was like, oh, this one goes to the college. So I bet that one takes me downtown. Mm-hmm. So I drove around downtown, zigging and zagging until I found the coffee shop. It took me like 5 minutes. And then
5 minutes.
It didn't take that long.
And then,
Shelby, I'm originally from Arkansas. So
We're in Arkansas.
Yeah, Benton.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I've been there many a time. I had friends from Benton.
Oh, yeah?
And it's always Benton. You know, it's not Benton. It's Benton.
No, it's never Benton.
Heavens.
That's
no.
too Proctor.
No.
It's Benton.
Benton.
kind of like El Dorado.
That's El Dorado. I knew some people from El Dorado as well. That's awesome. Did you go to Benton High?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
There's only one high school. So, moving to the question that you get asked in Memphis is, so what high school did you go to? And I'm like, Benton High School, Benton, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Isn't
that the funniest thing about Memphis is that, whenever people go, what school did you go to? They're not asking you what college you went to. They're asking you.
They're asking you what high school.
Yeah. That's what
Always.
What school you go to? That's what it means.
And it's really like a big, small town,
Oh, definitely. That's why I love it.
Yeah, it really is. But if you know that person, your mama does, or like your mama's friend does, or they know who your mama is. Like somehow there's a connection,
Always.
Well, look,
I can go home and not see anybody I know. But if I go out of Memphis, I'm going to see a half a dozen people. It's just like people that I waited on from the art center, people I went to school with, people from church. It's like, I saw you the other day, and I'm like, I can go home and go to the Walmart and not see anybody. And I know they're all there. I don't know.
Yeah, because that's the only place there is to go. Although Benton does now have a Target. So Benton has gone up in the world since
That is bougie.
They've doubled in size since I moved. It was like 16,000 people, and they're probably 32 to 36,000. So.
Yeah, Benton Star is on the rise, I believe.
That's like Ruston. They recently got a Chick-fil-A, y'all.
Ooh.
Well, see, Benton had a movie theater, which was more than we could say for Arkadelphia. So if we wanted,
they had 2. They had the first one that was like 2 theaters, but it shut down.
Okay. I went to Tinseltown. Do you remember Tinseltown?
There's Tinseltown across the highway.
Y'all, Monroe has a Tinseltown. I know. Monroe, Louise. Look, Paul. They only got a movie theater recently in Ruston. Like it's been after we got married that they got there. So it's been less than 15 years that Ruston has had its own movie theater.
Hey, I had a suite mate in college who was from Monroe. She called it Funroe.
Yeah, Funroe. It's Funroe.
Funroe.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But look, I'm so mushy and dorky that like Paul and my, like how we met, I put that in our invitation.
That's sweet.
I love it.
We wrote a silly poem about it. And
I
thought,
love it.
we have such a silly story that everybody wants to know it.
Oh, I did. Oh, yeah. So he was at the Frothing Monkey when you went. Is that how it happened?
Yeah.
Monkey.
And I met this girl. I would like Hannah and I met. She ended up coming to MCA and graduating. That was awesome. But
Yay.
it was so crazy. She left, and then I just opened up my laptop and I went, "Holy moly, they got internet here!" So I ran out.
Eureka! A light bulb.
Small town had Wi-Fi, y'all. And so I opened up my white laptop, looked just like Reese Witherspoon in Legally Blonde. Boop, 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 boop. And I was gonna catch up on my MCA work. And this guy walked in and goes, "That's a nice computer." And that was it.
That's his pickup line.
That was like, I'm in love. That's good.
Yeah, he ended up moving up here 10 months later.
That's amazing.
I was the only person in the coffee shop he didn't know. And while he was there talking to me, you're talking about people walking by, you know, we were sitting in there for like an hour, and like his brother-in-law walks in, his friends walk, like everybody, "Hey Paul, hey Paul, hey Paul." I feel like it was the Andy Griffith show. Like everybody, "How you doing?"
Paul knew a good opportunity because there's no chance of him meeting his cousin and marrying his cousin.
That's right.
I'm just sorry. You know, you have to ask in a small class who your people is.
Who your
Who
people?
your people?
Who your people?
Because you don't want to marry your cousin.
My granddad's family is all from Tipton County, like Covington, Burleson. And I'm talking, when I say that they're from Tipton County, I mean his parents were from Tipton County. Their parents were from Tipton County, like generation. I'm like, what did they do with their lives? Like, it seems, what was there to do? I don't know. I guess date each other and get married. But for sure, I want to say it was like his grandparents. Like the granddad dated the grandma's sister before, and then that didn't work out. So then he dated the grandma, and then that did work. It's like he dated the sister. And I mean, I guess the pickings were slim. I don't know. But finally he found one that was on board with it, and here we are.
You said on board with it.
On board.
They were on board with it.
All right, I'm on board. We can do this. We'll get married.
This will work for me.
Yeah, this works. I'm glad it did. I'm very, very thankful it didn't end up in person, because then I wouldn't be having this conversation with y'all.
Like,
Okay.
it's sad that with all this stuff, like some of the unintended consequences that I've been super excited about with the Rona is that I don't have to wear makeup, and it's quite normal.
Look at that mask. That is a lovely mask.
Nice.
Like my mama just got me this for going back to school. So this was my back to school gift this year from Vera Bradley. It comes with filters. But look, I am the normal person now. I don't wear makeup. Like I hardly ever wear makeup. So all my friends have been posting on Facebook about how it's a hassle to put on makeup and it gets on your mask. And I'm like, that's true.
Don't wear it.
Don't do it.
Says
Don't
the
have to
girl
do
who,
it.
of course, as was mentioned last time, can't get away without makeup because of blonde blonde eyelashes. So,
but like I put on some mascara just for this filming, but you don't have to wear makeup you don't have anything below here. You don't have to wear makeup for, y'all.
you know what I like? You know what I really seriously like that I saw on the Today Show this very morning, and I wish I could tell you the website, but it's a mask and it has a matching headband, and the headband is like a big thick headband and it has buttons on it, and you just hook the mask onto the headband. And I feel like that you throw on some sunglasses, you got yourself a disguise. You don't have to wear anything.
Right.
Look, disguise.
You are just
I feel like this is a real good disguise. Like people like, is that Ashley? I don't know. She's not talking.
I have been wearing my bandanas. I wear a lot of bandanas in my hair, and so I had a drawer for the bandanas. I was like, I'm not paying. These were all $1 at Walmart. And at first, I was like, you look at the videos, and I tried to do the little thing videos, and it didn't work. And I'm like, I'm just gonna tie it on, and I hope nobody, confuses me for a bandit because I'm wearing a bandana. Like I'm a bandit. I'm a wrestler.
For a bandit, you could have an edge to you when you go out.
So I've been wearing my bandanas, and at first I was putting coffee filters in it, and so it was like 3 coffee filters, and then you fold it over, and I couldn't breathe, and my friend was like, "Stop it! You're gonna smother yourself to death." She's one. It's okay if he's one. Now I don't use any at all because I'm irritated and I'm hot. So I'm just like,
so hot. Y'all
hot and irritated about wearing the bandana. And then I get irritated when I see people not doing it at all, and I'm following the rules.
Look,
Mad.
I got a gift this morning on my Facebook that said something about it feels like 100. Don't tell me the other temperature. I don't care about the other temperature. It feels like is where it ends. Like who cares?
It all matters.
It feels
It's just
hot.
hot.
Yeah.
So that's
Hot. The humidity is gonna kill us. I mean, just walking out and it just slaps you in the face like a wet blanket, and you're just like, ugh. That's the noise I make. I'm just like, ugh.
Well, I did something real dumb yesterday.
what?
Chris had to take my van to the shop on his way to work, and I thought that I was so clever keeping my masks in the glove compartment so that I'd always have them whenever I go anywhere.
Right.
Well, I had to run an errand yesterday, and all my masks were in the glove compartment. And so before I left the house, I was like, what am I going to do? So I went to my closet, and I found a woolen infinity scarf, and I thought, well, I can configure that to where I can do something. So I did, and y'all, I paid big time. And plus, it wouldn't
I'm
even.
surprised you didn't just pass out.
So I'm having to hold it like this.
That sounds awful.
It was bad. It was real bad. I do not recommend that. But that was my own fault for keeping them in the glove compartment.
Right, I get that. Rhonda, have you been doing any work lately? Do you have any work around you can show?
I do. Let me turn on my lights.
On the spot. You didn't even know you were going to be on tonight.
So, I have been working on a lot. Okay, so a long story short, the whole pandemic and quarantining at home I've been doing since December because my job went under. So, I was let go of my job in December. So there's a whole sort of story about that. So I've been doing this since December, and I'm good. When everybody else was staying at home, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. No, I've been doing since December. Okay, I feel sorry for you. You can't go nowhere. I ain't been going nowhere. So between looking for a job and, doing all the things that you're supposed to do, I had to start making because I really don't want to go back to work. I really don't want. It's like, let's make art for a living now. It's about time. Let's do this thing.
Amen.
So here's one.
Yep, the other way. You gotta learn like we did.
Yeah, it's like, is it straight?
Can I make it bigger? Can I make you bigger?
Woo!
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. So I love washi tape. So a lot of this is washi tape.
Wow.
And a little bitty stamp. I watch all those, I don't know about y'all, the ladies that do all those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful videos that are 12 minutes long. I'm like, hun, 4 minutes. Can you do this in 4 minutes? I don't have time for you. Stop it. So,
whoa.
it's a bunch of different paper.
Wow.
And washi tape and a little stamp.
Happy birthday.
Because I'm not an expert stamper.
It looks
And here's one for boys because it has robots.
I love the robots.
I do too. How cool.
So that's what I've been that's what I've been working on, trying to.
And they're all in this special cellophane wrapper. That's so.
Well, I did. Okay, so let me back way up. When I graduated from MCA, I started working at the Art Center.
Yeah.
And so, there wasn't a. Yeah, I worked at the Art Center. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the ways that I got into card making, just really heavily, is that I started making Valentines. And yeah, so all we had was a black and white copier, Xerox copy machine that, they had the weird, y'all might be too young, they had the weird toners, like you could do red and blue and green. So I would make the cards on copy paper. Well, not copy paper, but I would just run anything through the copy machine. Like bogus paper is beautiful through a copy machine.
Wow.
And so all my Valentines were black and white. And then all my friends would whine. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a Valentine. And I'd just be like, my birthday's tomorrow, because my birthday's the 15th. I'm like, we can go and get cheap candy, flowers, everything. It's my birthday. I was like, it's my, the 14th is Rhonda's birthday eve.
Yes.
That is true.
So I started making them darker because, I was tired of them whining. So they would have like some really dark sentiment, because they were already black and white. And I wouldn't do them every year, but when I did, I would just make sure they had a dark sentiment. And one year I made one, and I had this little, because I loved clip art, because Chart Pack had those clip art books. Was it Chart Pack or Graphic? Oh God, anyway, just one of the things at the Art Center that I could pillage. And I had printed off a Cupid, and when you start Xeroxing things and they break apart, you keep going bigger and bigger, bigger. Again, this is before scanning and EPSs and PDFs and all that other stuff. You just scan it and it would just break apart.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had watercolored it and done all this stuff, and I had punched out a little black flocked heart and stuck on its belly. And a friend was like, hearts aren't black. And I'm like, really? Because there's one right there on its belly. And so that, all my Valentines were dark, had a dark sentiment, and always had a black heart. Always. Always had a black heart. Always. So I had a coworker who was also an MCA graduate. She was a photographer, and she sent me a link to her, what's that place that you can put all your photos on? I can't remember. You know what it is. Flickr.
Yeah.
She had a Flickr page, and she's like, go look at this piece that I did. And she liked to set up little tableaus with little dolls and doll furniture. And she had a female figure sitting on the side of the bed, and there was a nightstand with a little telephone. And the name of the piece was Same as Any Other Year. And I almost wept. I'm like, oh, it was a gut punch. I was like, ow. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. What I need you to do is I need you to print off me some, and that's going to be my Valentine for the year. So my Valentines are always dark. If I give candy, the candy has like some weird little like bittersweets or sweet nothings. Valentine's Day is for suckers, and they get a bunch of suckers. So, I skewer it real good. So I'm just like,
I love it.
You've got to get the Halloween candy. That's the black candy, and the orange candy that's in those wrappers. And save it.
That's a good idea. And still have all the red. Still have the red stuff with it.
Right.
Yes.
So
That is amazing.
Those things are beautiful.
Yeah. I hope it catches on one day, because I've been doing it for years. My friends know what to expect on Valentine's Day. If I do that card, the photographic card, I sent in a black envelope. And I had so many friends tell me that, it's like, one of my friends in California was like, I had to look at it for 20 minutes before I opened it. I'm like, really? 20 minutes?
Didn't consider whether you're gonna
open. Yeah, it's like he goes, it had been a while, and I didn't know what to expect. I'm like,
She had to prepare.
exactly.
Okay,
Like,
so
okay.
you'll appreciate this. My freshman year at MCA, I took book arts with Cynthia Thompson, and we were doing this altered book project, and and this was right around the time that those mail bombings were happening.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we partnered with a student at MICA, Maryland Institute College of Art. And we also partnered with a student in our own class. And like our partner would grab it and we would alter it and then we mail it to that person. And the idea was that we'd mail it back and forth the whole semester.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, right?
I like that.
My partner, Chip, was, and this, I was a freshman, a baby. It was my first semester. So I didn't have a voice yet. And I was, and these are big upperclassmen, and I wasn't, you as an artist, you're like, where's my voice? Where's my voice?
Right.
And Chip wanted to make a book bomb. And so he went out and got a very old, at a used bookstore, found an old Boy Scout manual, and that was going to be our book. And he worked on it first, and then I worked on it, and I was like, what do I do? I found these little like paper punches that were in the shapes of little boys, and I like punched holes throughout the whole thing, and started gluing in wires and things. And then, it's my first semester in college. I don't know what I'm doing. And so it's to alter a book. How am I making a book bomb? I don't know. And so I mail it to the person in MICA. And the return address I used was my parents' house because at this time, like, I didn't know what would happen if they shipped it to my dorm address. Like, I wanted to make sure I was going to get it. So I return address is a house. And about a few weeks go by and I completely forget about it. And my mom wakes me up one Saturday morning on my cell phone, stupid early. I don't know, must have been like 8 o'clock.
The nerve.
Right. Who is awake right now? And I go, hello. Like, Ashley, I'm sorry to call you so early, but I need you to be serious right now, and I have a very serious question. I was like, what's wrong, Mom? Do you know anyone that lives in Maryland? And I was like, no, ma'am.
You leave your mama alone. Leave her alone.
I know. I was like, no, Mom. She was like, okay, I don't know what happened. We called the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. We got some weird box that we didn't know who was from. It was, and about this time, it occurs to me, Maryland. I went, Mom, was it a book? Was it a Boy Scout manual? And she goes, yes. Oh my, and I'm like, it all comes together. I'm like, Mom, project. That was my school project. We were making an altered book. And she goes, oh my gosh, Ashley, it was so scary. We opened it and we thought, like, with all the book bombings that, like, the mail bombings that were happening, we didn't know what to do.
Horrible.
We called the FBI, and like the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation came by and confiscated my package. And I was like, Mom, that's my homework. I need you to get my homework. She goes, baby, I can't. They have it. And I was like, what? You mean I have to go to school tomorrow and tell them that the FBI has my project?
Automatic A. Automatic A.
The FBI ate my homework.
Yeah, this is really what happened. I went to school and I'm like, Cynthia Thompson's going to kill me. So I'm going to get an F. I don't know what am I going to do? And then I was like, Cynthia, see, what had happened was.
Exactly. What happened was.
And I'm like freaking out telling the story. And then like the whole room, like silence, and then dies out in laughter. And she's like, can you get it back? And I'm like, no, they told me I can't have it. They told me I can't have it back. No.
Oh my word.
Oh my gosh.
Chip's all excited. He's like, this is the best. We did it. We were making a book bomb. It was great. Like,
It's somewhere in a warehouse next to the Ark of the Covenant. That's how important it is.
it is.
That's how dangerous and important.
Word.
Automatic A. Automatic A.
Absolutely automatic A.
It's a bit ridiculous.
If the TBI confiscates your art project, that says all.
Exactly.
Like, what? Who had? They had what? Mom, it was just a book. So I never got to see it. I don't even know what it looks like after that person mailed it back. And it happened to be an Asian student. So like it was, like the return address was part in English and part not in English. So, you know, like that perfect Asian writing where it's real boxy and like that's what it looked like. And so I know that had to be like, and the address too, because, you know, in China, the surname is what goes first. And so it didn't have my first name on it. It only had my surname. So the box was addressed to Randall.
Well, I mean, there was a time when we didn't know what was going to be happening to us. And I do remember having the thought, thank heavens I'm in Arkadelphia, Arkansas right now, because I doubt that's at the top of anyone's list of people to go after, you know?
This too shall pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I was
That's
actually
a big story.
the other day and trying to take some comfort from it because I remember like September 11th, one of my friends on my dorm hall came running in and she was like, y'all better go get gasoline right now because pretty soon there will be no gas. And so don't you know, we all lined up at the gas station and got our gas. And did we need to do that? No.
We're about to
Yes. I was thinking maybe there's some lessons to be learned from that. Maybe we're going to be okay. You know?
I'm still going to wear my mask.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
For sure.
Because I don't know where any of you jokers have been.
Don't trust us. We should not be trusted. Cannot be trusted.
Prepared to stay at home and quarantine. I had the flu at like the end of January. And yes, it was actually the flu. Like I tested positive for the flu. It was not COVID. And I had it at the end of January, beginning of February. So I feel like I had to quarantine my little self. I remember the doctor telling me that I was going to have to quarantine for I don't know how many days. But at the time, it felt like an eternity. And I was like,
well, look, I'm going to tell you I did this in January. And y'all are going to be like, what? But in January, like, I was in Miami in January for my school at a international technology convention.
That was January. We didn't know nothing. We didn't know anything in January.
We were living totally ignorant lives.
Nope. But
I mean, even in March. I mean, I went home a couple of weeks in March because I have great nieces, and then, you know, they got out early like all the kids did, and I was going to go home for a spring break, you know, and help my mom and my niece out anyway. So I just went home and ate a week earlier. And then when I came, you know, spent 2 weeks in Arkansas, came back home, and then the world shut down. You know, the United States went on sick leave. You know, everybody filled out their FMLA form. It's like, we're going to go on the Family Medical Leave Act right now. Everybody got put on the sick and shut in prayer list. All of us. It's just like, oh, okay, all right. I don't know if I like this. This is not. And it's just getting. I mean, it's just getting progressively worse. And so
we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in a few weeks. 24 sleeps, as my calendar states.
I'm sorry, Ashley. I mean, I was scared for the kids, you know, when they were going to be out an extra week for spring break.
They've done
especially, you know, the kids in the urban area, you know, the actual Memphis City school kids. I'm just like, what are y'all going to do with these babies? Out here for 2 weeks.
For all the babies that depend on the school to eat.
Exactly.
That was the first thing I thought of back when they shut it all down. I was like, wait a minute, we're forgetting something. But of course, they weren't forgetting anything because they They had a plan.
They had a plan.
They had a plan.
The plan they have now is just, I've been calling my niece. I'm like, you need to get the girls, because she has twin girls. I was like, you need to get girls a mask for every day. I was like, get them a mask. I was like, get them a little Ziploc bag, put some baby wipes in there, put some alcohol and some bleach in there, and just start training them now, wipe down their stuff. Because they're 8. They're not.
Look, my 5 and my 6-year-old know. I'll walk in the house and they go, take your shoes off. I'm like, yes, ma'am.
I have twin 8-year-old girls.
Oh, really?
I do, yes. Y'all want to come here? Y'all want to say hi? They do not want to say hi right now. It's only on their terms. Now, when they want to say hi, you got to make room for them. But
well, of course.
Yeah.
We got one too.
Hey, how are you?
This is Tamsy Pearl.
Hey, Tamsy Pearl. I had a Grandma Pearl. I
had a Grandma Pearl.
Mm-hmm. Great grandmother Pearl.
That was mine. She was my great grandma, but we called her Grandma Pearl. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was
her name right there.
And
Are
I'm
you
Shelby
third
Pearl.
grade?
She's Tamsy Pearl.
Are you 3rd grade?
Almost.
Yeah,
Almost, yeah.
we'll go ahead and call it. Because
Yeah.
you graduated 2nd grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's gonna be awesome.
She enjoys the camera, don't
I
you?
see.
Oh, here's the other one.
Hi,
Here's the other one, Miss Evangeline Rose.
Angela Rose. My great nieces are identical too.
Are they really?
Yes, I'm just now starting to figure them out.
Yeah.
Only by personality, not by looks at all. I'm just like personality. I'm like, okay, you acting funny. You're her.
That's so
You're
funny.
acting this way. You're her.
My boss's youngest are twin girls, and they're identical, and they're 3 or 4, and he used to be able to tell them apart because one of them decided they were going to cut their hair, so they cut like.
Oh.
So he knew who Crazy Bangs was. But this week,
And
he
hence
cut
her nickname forever, Crazy Bangs.
Crazy Bangs. So this week, the other one cut her hair, so now he can't tell them apart again.
Oh no.
Yes.
Parts on opposite sides. And if you look at Evie, then you can see an E because of where her part is.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes in handy. It's like look for the E and you know that you're dealing with Evangeline. But then Tamsy's the opposite. So that's our little key.
So they're mirror twins?
They're mirror twins, which I never knew was a thing until I was in the until I was in the NICU with them, but I was not a patient of the NICU. They were the patient.
Right.
But the doctors or one of the nurses said, do you think they're mirror twins? Because their hair is like it swirls on opposite sides of their head, and then one's clockwise, one's counterclockwise. And I was like, who knows? I guess so. So sure enough, like a little fraction of identical twins are mirror image. So
there's a million things you don't know till you get into the maternity ward. Like about the crazy granny panties that are the best panties of your life. Like
okay.
All of them. All of them.
All of them are good.
Put them all in your bag every day. They give you one. Like I ran out.
You learn a lot. You learn a lot. You know what I knew about twins before having those suckers was nothing. And now here I am like, well, actually a percentage of the identical twins are mirror. It's like, what?
What
language am I speaking?
Y'all, we have been talking for a million years tonight. We've got to end.
Okay.
Look,
thanks for putting me on. That was fun.
I'm glad that you're available for us to drag you on tonight. Thank you.
I'm so glad you came.
Thank you. I'm glad you put me on. That was fun.
You're such a good sport. I'll have to bring you back. Show us more of your work. Are you on Etsy?
No, I am a little afraid of Etsy. It's so big.
Yeah.
So right now, my church is doing an entrepreneurial class or classes. So I'm taking those and I'm making. I will say that I can't do God's math. I'm doing incredibly well financially. So I'm just going to make, and when it's time to put it out in the world, I put it out in the world. I was like, but I got to have something. Someone's like, you only need 3 things. I was like, and if I sell those 3 things, then what am I going to do?
Then what? What are you doing up tonight?
Up all night, drinking coffee and shaking. Oh my God. So I'm just going to, there's got to be some plan. So,
That's perfect. Well, I hope I get to talk to you again soon, Rhonda.
I hope so too.
This will be great.
Shelby, fellow Arkansan.
Woo! Yes, ma'am. Representing.
Well,
Exactly. Represent.
everybody out there, we hope y'all have a great night from us to y'all.
you.
Yes.
Say bye. So y'all have a good night.
Thank you, ma'am.